Okay, there's what I see. Definitely looks like a fish farm. Let's see how close we can get up to it. Maybe we might find someone over there to talk to them. See what they got there. Okay, so I found a way in. And we're going to find out about this fish farm. And this entrance is actually the former residence property of Arthur Irving, multi-billionaire family renowned for the oil and forestry industry here in New Brunswick. So there's no house left here now, but it's still quite a beautiful piece of property. And it's going to lead right down to that fish farm. So this is kind of fun. Let's go see what's down there. All right. Oh, look at all the dill growing here. Just squeezing through this narrow little path I found. Tons of dill growing. I've never actually been in here before. And look what we got here. A pathway. Well, let's keep going. Somehow this log looks like a piece of licorice. Like it's a twister. That's weird. There's the fish farm. Okay, we're gonna get closer. There it is. I had no idea this was here. Even in my own territory, I've never ceased to be amazed at how I always find new discoveries when you just get out and venture around a little bit. So, in case I didn't say where this is at, we are in St. John, New Brunswick, on the city's north side, which is known as Milledgeville. And we're on the Kennebecasis River, which is a major waterway joining on to the majestic St. John River, which is where I'm from, in Oak Point. And my name is Dallas Carr. So here we are looking at some kind of a fish farm operation. This is great. Could be salmon in there. I know the salmon industry is kind of a big deal in Atlantic Canada. Some of the fish farm producers around here, one big player, Cook's Aquaculture, started out with something simple like that, and then they grew into a multi-billion-dollar industry, which actually now has fish plants worldwide. It's amazing to see an entrepreneur in a small place like New Brunswick actually be able to accomplish such a thing like that. Something for a maritimer to be a little bit proud of. Not too proud though, but good to see that people can achieve their goals if they set their mind to it. Right, I'm right on the edge of the shore. That's about as close as I'm going to get to these pins. Have another look. There it is. Fish farm. How about that? There was another fishing boat parked there. He must have left. It's one of the islands. Oops. One of the islands off of the Royal Kennebecasis Yacht Club. And I do believe the natives, local natives here, the Micmac Malicites, actually own that island. And there's about 3 of them. We're looking at like kind of one and part of another one there. Some beautiful sandy beaches over there. I've been over there with my friend in the canoe. So today is actually August 22nd. And We're in midsummer here in New Brunswick, and it's just such a nice calm morning. It's warm, peaceful. You can see the water behind me. Alright, there's the other island. Shape of that island kind of looks like a lion turtle from my son's favorite anime show called The Avatar. And in the Avatar there was an island, giant island that looked just like that, and he was actually a living creature called a lion turtle. An old anchor base. Just doing a little navigation on the rocks. Alright, over there is Kennebecasis Island. There was a ferry that I was hoping to cross. There it is. Over in the peninsula side. Way over there. A couple of kilometers away, at least 3. I think I'm going to head back to the truck and boot her up the road there to get onto that ferry so I can take a shortcut home. Holy cow, that was perfect timing. I hurried back, jumped in my truck, and drove down, hoping to catch the ferry on time, and it's here now loading. I would have missed it and waited an hour for it to come back, so lucky me. Here we go. All aboard. Okay, so here we are crossing. You know what? I'm just having a little fun making videos. Even though my name kind of implies Dallas car or superstar, I'm really just kind of a goofy guy that likes making little videos once in a while. But look at this. You know, when you live someplace your whole life, you don't always appreciate what you got until you go away for a little while. Then you come back to it and say, wow, I didn't realize I lived in such a nice place. Maritimes has been my home for most of my life. Though when I was younger, I traveled around. I was in the armed forces for 5 years, went all over the place. After that, when I get out, I went out west. The old saying, go west, young man. Well, that's what I did. And I had lots of adventures out in the Rocky Mountains, British Columbia. My only regret was I didn't go all the way to the west coast of Canada. I really should have. I only made it as far in the interior of British Columbia to Kelowna. And anyways, that's got to be on my bucket list. Go to the Pacific coast of Canada and see it. Other than that though, I did go to the Philippines for a month. And that was an experience of a lifetime. My wife is Filipino, and we went there. And it was kind of a life-changing event because right before we went there, something very tragic had happened in the family. And looking back in hindsight, I think it was God's plan all along that I was going to go to the Philippines, because I really had no plans on doing something like that. Anyways, he sent me there to deal with the loss of my eldest son's life, and it was a tragic death. And my time in the Philippines just helped me to resolve with my Creator and Father in heaven, to deal with that situation, and it really meant a lot to me being there. So, and I never even talked about it to anybody. That happened 4 years ago, and this is the first time I've ever publicly said anything about that event. God, and I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and that He died for our sins so that we could have life with Him. And because of that, I turned to Him and asked Him for help to get me through it. And He has, but it hasn't been easy. It's been tough. My son was just a few days shy of turning 27 when he unexpectedly decided to take his own life. And it just blew everybody, his friends, her family, all of us away. No one ever would have thought it. And we buried him on a Saturday, and on the Monday, I was on a plane to the Philippines. Had no idea what I was doing, if it was the right thing, but I think it was, looking back. It wasn't the kind of vacation that you go on to go to resorts and that sort of thing. It was something, like I said earlier, that I think was predestined by God for me to go there so I could have time to deal with and grieve over the loss of my son. But anyways, I'm still thankful for what I have. I have a wife and family. I still have 3 other children. And it just made me appreciate them all the more. I feel so blessed to have them. So, that's my little blurb on that. Ferries at the other side now, so it's time to get going. I'll get back on again in a few minutes. So, we got off the ferry, or I'm here by myself, and I'm cruising across the Kingston Peninsula right now. And I just want to say another thing about what I just shared about losing my son, who had committed suicide back in 2016. About a month before I even went to the Philippines, there was just something impressing upon my heart, something about this trip. And I kept trying to allude to, it must be I'm going there to do something for somebody to help them or something like that. It wasn't about that at all. What I found out was that when I went to the Philippines, I had no idea what I was stepping into. I've never traveled outside of Canada and the United States, so I had no idea into Southeast Asia. And I went into a country completely unfamiliar and not knowing what to expect. But you know what? I found out very quickly the Filipino people are happy, humble people, hard-working people, and you could see them in their hardships and they're not complaining. So I have nothing to complain about. I'm grateful. They really helped me a lot. I didn't tell anyone when I was over there what had just happened in my life. I didn't see the need to try to have people feel sorry for me. Rather, I just wanted people to see me for who I normally am outside of a tragedy. And boy, did I ever make a lot of friendships and lasting impressions of people I've met and things I experienced there. It was just phenomenal. And I can tell you, the Philippines has a special place in my heart. And I'm going to go back there someday. But I'm not used to doing something like this. I've never really done anything like this to just talk. So I don't want to come across as preachy. I find more so it's not your words, it's just your actions and your attitudes where people will see God's love, right? And that's what I hope. I know I'm not perfect, and that's why I put my faith in God, because I know I'm not a good person. I'm a sinner. I admit it. I do things wrong all the time, but I really rely on the grace of God for His forgiveness and to help me to pick up and keep going and to draw on His strength. So I give credit to Him for all things. Anyways, I want to show you something that's kind of unique to New Brunswick. You won't see this very often in most parts of the world. So I'm just going to pause it for a second, switch the camera over. Watch. You know what that is? That is a covered bridge, and here comes a car coming through it right now. It's a single lane bridge. This is something almost exclusive to New Brunswick in Canada. Now, I don't want to say that completely because I think in the province of Quebec they have some, but I know that New Brunswick is famous for covered bridges and lighthouses. But here we are. We're going to go through it. Now, this bridge was built in 1920, so it's pretty old, and it's a wooden bridge. And the span of water it's crossing is called Bayswater. There's a guy outside in a Jeep waiting to come in. Glad that he stopped. So here we are coming out of it. Now I'm going to pull over and give you another view of it from right over here. So just a minute. Here we are. This is called the Milkish Creek Covered Bridge. And it's in Bayswater. And over there is Kennebecasis Island. Look at that. Completely wooden bridge. Covered bridges. Why covered bridges? I guess back in the day when we still had horse and carriage, covered bridge was meant to keep horses from panicking when they crossed over high spans of water. And also the structure is made out of wood, and as you know, wood rots over time, so they build a roof over it to help preserve the bridge. And a lot of these bridges in the province are well over 100 years old. Unfortunately, I think we only have about 57 of them left. We used to have probably well over 100. So they're starting to become a rare commodity. Alright, we're at a junction here, and I gotta go left. That leads down the hill to the ferry. Oh, here comes a car. Since this is Canada, we usually wait when the car is a half a mile away before we try to pull up in front of it. Not like the Philippines where it's half a meter away and you'll pull out. As I found out when I was driving there, that would happen all the time. Somehow I managed to drive there without even having a single incident. Don't know how that happened. And coming down into the St. John River Valley. Down this hill. There's the water. You can see it. There it is. Alright. St. John River. That. Yeah, look at that. We got a second ferry crossing here. You know what? That ferry coming towards us. One time I had my little guy, we call him Dilly Dally. He's probably about 6 years old. And we get on the ferry, and the ferry driver toots the horn. We look up, he waves to us, and we go up, and he let my son drive that ferry to the other side of the river and land it. It was pretty cool for him. Alright, so the ferry's offloading, and it's going to be our turn to get on next. Here we go. The sign says please remain in the vehicle due to the COVID thing, no doubt, so I'm not going to be getting out of the vehicle while I'm on here. So I'm going to try another little trick as soon as I park. I'll just stop right there. I don't want to go any further.
What happens if I stick it up through the sunroof? Well, I have no idea what you just saw there. Guess I'll find out when I get it home to edit the video. People camping on the beach. So, here we are in Westfield, crossing the ferry, and we look that way. I don't know if you can see. Maybe not. But I'm going to be driving up that direction, upriver, to go home. It's about another 20 minutes. So, there we are. Oh look, a new freshly paved road. Now that's rare to see in New Brunswick. Look at that. It's first class paving. What are you doing, Dallas? You're on the railway tracks. Yes, I am. I'm crossing because I want to go down to the water. Alright, I just want to show you real quick. This is my river. St. John River. And hope everything I talked about today is helpful to someone out there.